guys, it is so beautiful today, but it's cold and windy, which is like not my favorite combination, but I still have a ton of stuff I gotta do in the garden. I have to get them ready because we're about to have our first frost. I'm really worried about my loofahs. I don't know how they're gonna be affected by this frost. I think it's just gonna be a light frost because it's only getting down to about 32 degrees, maybe a little bit lower, maybe a little higher than that. But my loofah is still green. So look at that. It's still really green, so I'm worried that I'm not gonna get any good loofah out of this. So let me turn the camera around. So if you look at the top of my loofah, it's still green. There's no brown or yellowing on this loofah at all. It's nice and firm. It's huge, but it's still green at the top. That means it's still pulling nutrients from the plant and it's not fully matured yet. Now I'm pretty sure, because of how I could feel some hollow spots in here, that if I harvested these now and started to cut them open and process them that way, that I would still get some loofah sponges, but I may not get any loofah seed. So I'm worried because I don't necessarily care so much about getting the loofah sponges as much as I care about getting loofah seed for next year, because I don't want to have to go and buy some more loofah seed. So there is one right here that has a little bit of a brown spot, but as you can see on the top, it's still green. This one is definitely further along. It feels much more spongy. See, as I squeeze it, it's really spongy. But these others are still going at it. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, and I still have some baby ones growing. So we'll just have to see what happens. I'll make sure to do an update after the frost hits. This one is real spongy. These ones are actually pretty spongy feeling, but I could tell that they're nowhere near ready. Same with these. So if I just get one good loofah with mature seeds in there, I'll be happy. So this whole area is what I need to clean out today. Believe it or not, there's flowers in there. I need to clean out this bed so I can get my onions planted. I'm planting walking onions this year, along with some of the yellow onions that I planted last year. But I need to clear this all out. I need to get this clematis cleared out. It's still alive, just the bottom is turning brown. And I don't know why. I'm kind of sad. I'm wondering if it's just because of the cold temperatures. It's getting ready to sleep. But you can see it's still climbing up here. I've got a bloom that just bloomed the other day there. So I've got to clear all this brush out so all this grass isn't sucking all the nutrients from the clematis. And then I think there is a brambleberry there. Or actually, I think this is brambleberry the same thing as dewberry? It probably is. So I've got to clear out this whole area, clear out this bed area, mow, clear out that bed for sure so I can get my onions planted. I'm going to add a layer to this bed possibly for more onions. And then I need to finish weeding my garlic bed. So I'm calling this the garlic bed because I planted a ton of garlic in here, as you can see, in early August. So I need to clear out some of the stuff that I know is not going to survive this frost, like the tomatillos. Look, it's going to be so sad. So I'm going to clear all that out, and then I'm probably going to end up clearing this squash out. I haven't quite decided yet. Let's pull it. Well, definitely not a ball carrot. Well, maybe. Hard to tell. I've got a treat for my little bunnies. For you. Not for you. So we keep a few chickens in with our bunnies sometimes because they like to play with them, and they actually really like being around the chickens when the chickens aren't trying to steal their treats. What'd you say?
Tell the chickens to get out of here.
Bye.
Come look at this.
That's how much progress we made in this corner. Not bad. You can see Brooke's little garden bed that she started last year a little better. So yeah, and this all looks like a mess right now because I'm about to prune up that basil, and I've already taken cuttings to propagate for next year because this big one that you see here that's completely lopped over from the rain, this is a sterile variety. It's called Blue African basil. So I take cuttings from it to save for next year, and I'll get a bush just this size next year or next spring. I'm also going to take out that eggplant and put it in the compost bin because it's not going to produce anything before the frost next week. And this one still has fruit on it. So I'm going to leave it up and kind of just see what happens, but I'm going to prune off some of these branches that I don't need, like these ones that are kind of lopsided or fallen over. But yeah, and then I took out this cage that had a watermelon on it. It was right here, so you can see all the grass is overgrown right there. And I'm going to weed this whole area. I'm probably going to remove a bunch of zinnias for drying. I'm not sure yet. And there it is, just a very, very sad version of itself. Pretty bare. It's going to die off. You know, I would prune it back all the way, but these stems are pretty woody. And I kind of want to see if it'll come back next year if I just leave it in there a little bit. So I left quite a few leaves on it, as you can see, because I just want to see what happens. This right here is a Thai basil, not an African basil, and I don't want to cut that back yet because I want to give the seeds as much time as possible to grow or to develop, because I am going to seed save this some more. But it's also a fairly large plant, and it probably would have been just as big as that African basil if it were on its own, but it wasn't. And then this is oregano, and you can see some of the Thai basil has even sprouted up from the ground, like right there, just from seeds dropping. So pretty cool. And there was a purple pepper plant hidden under there that I actually did harvest some peppers off of that plant this year, but not very many. And then there's also some garlic that came up from some of the bulbils that I left in there in one of my harvesting videos that I did a while back. If you look in my video, I think it's like all about garlic or something like that, but you'll see that I show you the little corms that get left behind, and that's what these are. These are those little tiny corms that just got left behind from last year. So yeah, pretty cool. And over here is my huge wheelbarrow full of basil. If anyone needs basil. Now I'm going to be composting this. There's a little watermelon we found. And we smashed this down several times, so it was much larger than this, and I still have some in that little bin over there. So we're going to go ahead and bring this to our compost bin. So I'm going to remove this eggplant, and I just wanted to give you guys this quick tip on when you remove plants from your garden beds. I do not pull the plants out of my garden beds. I just cut them off at the base, and I leave all of their entire root system in the ground, because that's nutrients that will be that will kind of decompose for next spring, and it'll add nutrients to your bed for the plants that you add in there in the springtime. My artichoke is doing awesome. All right, the eggplant is out, and there was a good sized eggplant in there, but I didn't catch it soon enough, and it's kind of pretty much overdone. It'll probably be really bitter, so it's gonna live in the compost bin. I was gonna pull up my squash plants, but I think I'm gonna leave them for a while, just in case we don't get a frost, because those could still have some time to give me some fruit. I've got another one over here that needs to go, but it's got some squash on there, so I'm leaving those too. These pepper plants, I think I'm going to wait until these completely die before I pull them up and compost them. I am going to take some of these zinnias down though, and maybe even some of these, because I do have some winter plants. You can see some kale there underneath here that need sun, so I'm going to go ahead and take those up. And then there's a volunteer tomato plant in here as well. All right, that's a little bit better. I took out those orange zinnias, well, most of them. You can see the main plant there. This is a potato vine that I need to propagate before the frost takes it. But now you can see all the garlic that's in here. There's some kale. I think there's a few other kale seedlings in there. There's one there, so I've got to clear out this area too, apparently. And you can see my nice garlic chive. So yeah, not bad. Not bad for a day's work. I did cut off most of the zinnia heads to seed save, so I've got those sitting there. So it's not totally going to waste. The radishes are looking really good. I can see some red forming. They're such fast growers. So really happy so far with those. No, they're trying to invade the Japanese beetles. We hate these things. They're everywhere.
Is it supposed to rain tonight?
Maybe? I don't know. Alright, that's it for today's vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.